Hello, this is OGMoo-cow, and today I'm going to be working on this redstone machine that I've been working on recently, and I decided I should do a live stream while working on it. And I'm trying to build a calculator out of redstone, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So, I'm making a screen right now so that I can display 0 through 9. That's my first step. So I'm working on that. So I have this system over here that when it's done should allow me to program in numbers to show on this screen. That doesn't turn? Well, okay. This better work. I kind of forgot to test that bit, so if this doesn't work, bro, it only turns on one? What is going on? If I do like 3 in the back like that? 1. Well, what if I take light like that? Shouldn't this transfer through? I don't get why it's not doing that. It does that when I... And why does this not automatically turn into... Okay, you know what? Not important right now. Let's... Well, actually that is kind of important. I need to fix this. Okay, if I go like that... Yeah, the bottom one turns on. But the... So I need to have the power going into it. Which... Actually, for all of these except this one, that's already the case. So that shouldn't be too hard to fix. I just need to... Shoot. I'm gonna need more space there in order to make this thing work. So... Yeah. I'm just gonna have to move these further out. All of them are gonna have to go like a block further out. But first, I'm gonna need to go like that. And then like this. And then like that. And then about 3 blocks further out should be all I need. So let me get that situated. Okay. There we go. So now I just can wire this up. I have a feeling this is not going to reach if I don't use a repeater there to strengthen the signal. So I'm going to do that. And then there we go. Next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Yeah, I'm gonna need one of these. Okay. That might not need one of those. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it doesn't. Okay. There we go. Now they work. Let me just test each one. Oh. Perfect. Good. Good. Wait. What? Does it have something to do with the signal strength going in? Hold on, if I put a repeater in there, is it gonna... Oh, it does! I didn't know that. That's kind of cool. Okay, that one works. This one works. That one works. Okay. Okay, so now I can make that input system, right? Which just needs to be... Yep, this is perfect. Oh, wait. One more block out. Okay. Wait, I just need 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wait. If I have them stacked, right? I might need more than 9. No, wait, because I can use the target block to... Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll work perfectly with 9. Okay. So let me just go ahead and place some blocks here just to get everything the way I need it to be. And then I can break those because they're not in the right position. And then now I can just go like that. And okay. Wait, did I do that backwards? I think I might have. Hold on. If I go to the top and I position a piston, or if I just block update the top, I did it backwards. That's not gonna work. It's actually gonna need to be the other way, like facing that way. So I'm gonna want to build it from the top down. Yeah, like that. There we go. So then we go down like so. And then just okay, almost done. Okay, now I go through here. And this should work now. If I take a copper bulb and comparator, then that should allow me to comparator repeater, right? Repeater, 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 repeater. Repeater, repeater, and then the copper bulb. Wait, no. Wait, the copper bulb goes here. Okay, and then I can place all the comparators. And this should mean that if I wanted to turn on, say, the middle one, which is this brown wood, then I come all the way over here, place a block at the top, the middle one turns on, remove a block, it turns off. That should allow for me to use pistons to move observers out of the way and get 9 of those so that every number can do what it needs to do. The only slight problem that could come from this is if a second number decides to turn on at the same time as the first number, it's gonna turn things off if they have the same one instead of back on, which is less than ideal, but that's fine. We just gotta be careful that that doesn't happen. And then we can get started with each number, right? So let me pick 9 colors of concrete real quick. Yeah, okay. I actually am gonna need 10 colors of concrete. That's right. Okay, white, gray, I'm already using black, brown, red, orange, yellow, green. Okay. So then, green will be that one right there. And then the next layer is yellow, orange, red, brown, and I do, and that's 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So then I'm gonna need a 10th color. This dark green, right? Okay, and then it looks like I'm gonna need observers. So I'm gonna go ahead and build this for doing that. Because I'm gonna need 2 more observers, it would seem. I guess it doesn't really matter which direction they're facing in that case. Except these are now all on. Cow. And so then now I can break the. Oh, wait, I could have just broken the top and turned them all off. Now I have to go manually turn them all back to the right setting again. Okay. There we go. And then now I just need target block. Piston. And redstone. Now what I want to check real quick, and a lever for testing. Okay, so what I want to check real quick is that if I push that out of the way, and pull it back, it blinks. Does it do that on every level? Hold on. First, let me fix it to off. And I think that might just be the first level, but I'm not sure. It works. Oh. What? Why is it blink twice when doing that? What's the second blink? It works. Perfect. But when I pull it back, it's gonna fire twice, not once. Oh, it's gonna be the block update of this moving, and then the block update of that coming in. Right. If I put a repeater in there, though, set to 4 ticks, in between there, then it might work, right? Maybe that's how I was supposed to do it in the first place. Right, if I set that to 4 ticks, does it work? It's on. It's off. Does it need to be 4 ticks or can it be 2? It's on. It's off. Can it be just 1? Right, because the minimum number of delay we need is better. Okay, it needs to be 2. Okay. So let's just flip-flop these things. There we go. Now it should work. Okay. So now we can do the first number, which I'm gonna have go from lowest to highest. So this will be 0. Okay. So then to get 0, I'm gonna need to go like that, and just kind of go through all of these and just okay. Yeah, that'll work. I just need this column out of the way, but if I do that, all the colors will be gone for me to pick from. But that's fine. You just well, okay. This machine is working now. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so now I can go right here. How is that supposed to work? I had a plan. Oh, I remember now. That's still not gonna wait. What? Because if I put, first of all, does that turn it off? Oh, okay. If I put this here, then how am I gonna do layer 2? Right, layer 2. Yeah, I'm gonna need to make this twice as tall. I hate that. Okay, that's fine. I'll deal with that when I need to do that. Okay, but let's program 0 real quick. So 0 is all of them except the middle. So I can just go all the way down the line, skipping the last one. And that should give me 0 when I flip the switch. Yep, 0. Okay. So then now let's do 2. And 2 is going to be here. So then we can go down the line. And then, what is 2? What does a digital 2 look like? Okay. So that way, right side, left side. Okay. So it's going to need to be like that. Okay, got it. So here is going to be one. This is on, right? Snaking mangrove one is on next. On 2, so the mangrove one is on. So there we go. Next, the very last one is on. Okay. Okay, and then the right side, or yeah, or whatever this side is on, so the very first one, and then finally the bottom, which is that one, right? And so then now I can just is there a way to send this so that those pick it up? But I don't need, no, it's fine, it's fine. I can just do double the rows. Okay. So then that should, why is it not? Oh. What? What happened? Right, okay. So that doesn't make any sense. I flip this lever and that turns on. Does it do that if I do? Okay, no. Okay, what about, does it work if I do this? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. Not entirely sure why. Everything should be off now, but it's not. So let me just turn everything off. Okay, so now 0 works. Two works. Let's go. Okay, time to do 3. Okay, so 3 is gonna be orange. I should just get all this built out and then program each number. I think I'm gonna do that. So then I need red. Okay. And now brown. I need red. Okay, and then brown. Okay, and then gray. Right, so just do that. And just a few more. So then light gray. 3 more. White. Okay. Black. Finally, green. So then I take sign up. Probably not that one actually. Let me take the normal sign, and then I can go starting all the way down here. I can and label this 0. 1, 2, not there. Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Then I can take all these levers and put one on each. And then I can come up here and just fill because it is on the, yeah, okay. So the observers can stop here. Except I didn't put that out far enough. Okay. So then I can go there we go. And now I can just break this whole thing. And now I can go in with each piston and program in all the numbers. Easy. So we already did 0, and I programmed 1 as 2 for some reason. Okay, what does a digital 1 look like? Is it on the right side or the left side? Let me look. Standard to be just the right side. Okay. So let me real quick just replicate this pattern so I don't have to figure it out again. So let me just replicate this pattern on this side. Alright, and then for one, we just need mangrove and birch. Okay, mangrove and birch. Mangrove and birch. So mangrove and birch. So let me turn on birch, and then I can break all the rest of these that aren't the mangrove and birch. So then that. Okay. So there. Test 1. 1 works. Let's test 2. I didn't lay down the redstone dust on any of these levels. Let me do that real quick. Okay, so then 3. Let me see what the pattern is. Okay, everything except the left 2 on. So everything except, actually, the first 2. So I can just skip these first 2. 3 orchids. Right, and I can just do everything else on. Okay, let's try 3. So if I pull left, I get a 3. Okay. I'm gonna try something. That looks a little funky to me. So I'm just curious, if I put corners in, will it break? Will the corners light up? Let's see. I put the corners in. Now if I do something like 3, oh, the corners don't even light up. But that does look better for some reason. I don't know why, but that does look kind of better. I don't know, you can obviously tell. That's a 3. Okay. You know, wait. How do lights work? If it turns on. It turns on. That one turns on. Okay, right. And so if I just fill the whole screen like so, yeah, it's gonna look funky. Right, but maybe I just need black concrete. And it'll look better. But I'm not worried about aesthetics right now. I'm worried about functionality more. Okay, so let's look at a 4. Digital 4. Okay, top 2 off. Or top off, and those 2 off. So, not the first one. Okay, wait. So, on we need up at level 4, which is brown, I think. Yeah, okay, we need that one on. We need middle on. We need this side on, so mangrove and I think that's spruce. So mangrove on, spruce on. What else? So we just need birch on as well. And now 4 should work. Alright, we got a 4. Something looks off, but okay, I guess that's how you do 4. Yeah, I see it. It just looks really weird not having these corners. Does it look better with them? Because this doesn't change anything. It looks like a 4 now. It'd be better if I could get the corners to light up, but I can't. Get them to light up like that, so it's a 4. Okay. So then 4. Turn 4 off. Okay, so 5. So let's see, 5. Okay, everything except those 2 on. So everything except that, except the first one, and mangrove. So everything else, skipping number 1 and skipping mangrove. So where's mangrove? Mangrove is the next one after this. Skip mangrove. Do these. And you should now be able to get 5. Perfect. Okay, time to do 6. So let me just see what that is. Now let me just see what we've got. Okay, everything except that one. Okay, so everything except mangrove is what it looks like it's going to be. Everything instead of except mangrove. So then 6. Perfect, we have a 6. Okay. 7. Let's see. digital 7. Okay. So these three, so dark oak, mangrove, and birch. Okay, dark oak. Where are we at? White. Okay, dark oak, mangrove, birch. Should be 7. I left that on. I left 6 on too. Okay. So now 7. Okay. I still like that there's those holes. It makes it look so weird. Let me see if there's a way to fix it. If I use a target block instead, and then no, I just need this to spread one more than it does, or each of these needs to do twice to get it to work. So like mangrove would need to input, no, if it inputs there, so it need to input here and here. So like so like that, but the target blocks don't work like that. Good to know. So if target blocks don't work like that, but if like what? So I need input here and there. And so then I'm gonna need this fancy machinery, except that's gonna need to point into that. Does that only work on Bedrock, or can I do that here too? Because it would be very helpful. I have no idea if this is how this works or not. It does work like that. Okay, that's actually really helpful. That doesn't change anything though, because that's not actually gonna power that fully. To get full power, I need full power going into it. Does a redstone torch give full power? Hold on. Why did it go out? Oh, because it's powered. So do that. No, redstone torch also only gives partial power. What if I put the torch? Well, no, because I need. Wait, but if I do that one, then it'd power that too. So that won't even work. So doing the corners gets complicated. Unless we have the corners all pre-powered. It gets less complicated if we just have the corners already powered. Does that look weird when I do 0 and the corners are powered? Does it look weird to have them powered when that's on? I mean, not really. Honestly, that's less weird than it was before. Right. I can see the 7 in that. Let me turn off 7 and try. Alright, 6. That's clearly a 6. That looks great. Some of these are gonna look a little funky. 5. Nice. 4. Yeah, it looks a little funky, but you can tell it's a 4. Okay. Unless I like put something else in there. Just gonna have to stay with that. 0. Nice. Okay. 4. 1. Yeah, that looks good now. But no, I probably don't want that. It probably looks better just to have them have the brakes. Yeah, that's not that bad. Then far away, it still looks like a 1. Even if it has the brakes in it. Okay, let's turn it off and finish the last 2. Digital 8. Oh, I know what a digital 8 looks like. I'm gonna do that one last. It's gonna be easiest. Oh, and the 9 is also really easy. Okay. So 8 is literally just all of them. And then 9 is all of them except the first one. So I just can do all the rest. Okay. Let's try this. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. 0. Perfect. Let's go. Actually, I'm gonna make it. Okay. We have a full display. And it works. And it only takes up this much space. But now I can program any functions I want. So when I actually build the calculator, I have the screen. It's done. This is a giant module, but I think that's the best way to do it. Then what I was originally going to do might have fit into less space, technically, because it wouldn't be this tall. But it would be chaos and very hard to debug. Because originally I was just going to take every number from here, right, and then just string a string into here to each thing it needs to go to. But, so like take each of those colored paths and then put them all through here. But it'd just be a jumbled mess, and it might not all fit correctly, and it'd be really hard to debug. And so this is very clean. This is a very cool design. I like this. So very good horizontal redstone. I like it. I have a screen. Okay, I'll go now. This is OGMoo-cow signing off. Goodbye.